Now, because releasing a great game just isn't good enough apparently, how developers announce their hot new projects can make all the difference, and where reveals are concerned, it doesn't get any better than this lot. And yeah, if this sounds a bit weird, it's because I'm recording this live at Gamescom 2024, where even more video game announcements are happening. The content never sleeps, baby, and neither does my love for Ryozaki Teo, whose comment I've taken from last week's episode to feature in this list. And if you want to feature in next week's episode, then have a think about what you pick as the best GameCube game ever. Number 10. Grand Theft Auto 4 E3 2006. Now, it's a testament to the power and the popularity of the Grand Theft Auto franchise that it was able to bring down the house at E3 while committing a cardinal sin at conferences, and that was not showing a single damn shred of gameplay. GTA 4 was given a surprise announcement at Microsoft's E3 2006 presser, where company VP Peter Moore rolled up his shirt sleeves to reveal a temporary tattoo of the game's logo. Moore then confirmed that GTA 4 would be coming to Xbox 360, and then revealed that Xbox players would get an episodic DLC first, and then announced an October 2007 release date, which predictably did not stick. It's a reveal that's really only grown more surreal with time, not merely because the whole tattoo gambit was so hilariously weird and instantly iconic, but because Rockstar Games so rarely bothers with conferences altogether. And considering that the entire industry comes a-running whenever they do anything, can you really blame them? Number 9. Resident Evil 7 E3 2016. Given that the Resident Evil franchise had been on the skids since the polarizing 6th mainline game, nobody expected to hear anything about Resident Evil 7 from Capcom at E3 2016. And so when the mysterious trailer for a new horror FPS began playing, most assumed that it was an entirely new IP. That was until the end of the trailer revealed that this supremely creepy title was indeed the 7th Resident Evil. Radically ditching the series' traditional third-person perspective, Resident Evil 7 immediately earmarked itself as a bold attempt to reinvent the series, and to say that it succeeded is quite the understatement. Now, given that the franchise was undeniably stuck in a creative rut, this reimagining was so what it sorely needed. Resident Evil 7 ultimately injected fresh life into the IP, delivering one of the strongest entries to date and charting an exciting course moving forward. Number 8. Sony PlayStation E3 1995. Where console unveilings are concerned, there's surely none quite as legendary as Sony's megaton reveal of the original PlayStation at E3 1995, which actually was the very first E3 in fact. Though the console was actually already out in Japan, this marked Sony's coming out party for the console in the West. And given that Sega had announced a surprise release of their Sega Saturn console the very same day, the pressure was certainly on Sony to offer a worthwhile rebuttal. And that is what they did. When Sony's Steve Race took the stage for a brief presentation, which amounted to him simply announcing the PlayStation launcher's price of $299, and then walking off stage to a round of applause.
$299.
Confirming that the PlayStation would cost $100 less than the Saturn was all Sony needed to do to win the console generation. But more importantly, it was a brilliant strategic move which laid the foundations for their future decades of success in the gaming space. Number 7. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Everyone is here. Now, I got 3 words for you that will change your life. Everyone is here. Who could have predicted that this supposed buzzword tagline for Smash Bros. Would become as true a statement as I am painfully bold? The hype surrounding Smash Bros. Ultimate Everyone is Here trailer was and still is phenomenal, as Ryozaki Teo highlighted in their comment, and I for one am so happy to be covering this moment again. It literally has everyone. Plumber guy, cold climbing duo, Python man, and of course, Kirby. I won't do a joke about his name here because he will f me up. If you are a fighting or Smash Bros fan, then you remember this moment like it was the second coming of Christ, and you know what? It was that damn good as well. Number 6. Dead Island 2 Gamescom 2022. By 2022, there were literally dozens of us who still hadn't given up on Dead Island 2 actually coming out, and that arguably naive, misplaced faith was surprisingly rewarded at that year's Gamescom, when the first-person zombie actioneer was finally re-revealed with a glorious cinematic trailer. Now, given that Dead Island was first announced at E3 2014 and had gone through almost an entire decade of developmental strife, including changing developers twice mid-production, by the early 2020s, many assumed the game was, well, dead. So what a glorious surprise it was to see it reintroduced with a ludicrously entertaining, gore-soaked cinematic trailer which perfectly conveyed the game's kooky tone and unrelenting ultra-violence. Hell, it even confirmed a February 2023 release date, which admittedly it did end up being about 2 months off the mark. But even more surprising than the game actually being finished and coming out, that it turned out to be pretty damn fun and even sold way above expectations. Who could have seen any of this coming? Number 5. Silent Hill's PT. Unlike every other game on this list, Silent Hill wasn't actually revealed as a splashy stage show. It was actually announced at the end of another game itself. In August 2014, Konami dropped a free third-person horror experience on PS4 called PT, and upon reaching the end of the demo, players were informed that it was actually a playable teaser, hence PT, for a new entry into the Silent Hills franchise. More to the point, the closing trailer revealed that Silent Hills was going to be directed by Hideo Kojima and filmmaker Guillermo del Toro, while The Walking Dead star and future Death Stranding lead Norman Reedus would play the protagonist. Given that the Silent Hill franchise had been on shaky ground for years prior to this reveal, a Kojima del Toro collab seemed like the perfect way to rejuvenate it. It's just a shame then that the game was cancelled following Kojima's acrimonious departure from Konami the very next year. As gaming what-ifs go, there aren't many bigger than this. Number 4. The Last Guardian E3 2015. Sony's legendary 2015 Year of Dreams E3 presser turned heads for a number of reasons, not least that it came out swinging by re-revealing The Last Bloody Guardian. Team Ico's long ballyhooed follow-up to Shadow of the Colossus was first announced at E3 2009 as a PS3 title, but after years of radio silence, many assumed that the project was basically dead. So what a glorious surprise it was to see it brought back to life on the PS4 with a gorgeous segment showing off the game's striking art style and intriguing teamwork-based gameplay. And better yet, Sony even confirmed that it would be dropping in 2016, a date that they barely just clung on to, given that the game finally launched in December of that year. While The Last Guardian ultimately proved to be a fairly polarizing game upon launch, that's certainly preferable to the reality many expected for years, that it would simply remain trapped in development hell forevermore. Number 3. The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, E3 2004. 20 years later, Nintendo have never still topped that euphoric brilliance of their reveal of what would eventually become known as The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. The then unnamed follow-up to The Wind Waker had its first unveiling at E3 2004, where the sight of Link riding across a sun-splashed Hyrule on horseback left the audience hollering with joy. The game's more grounded aesthetic was a major source of release for those unmoved by The Wind Waker's divisive cel-shaded art style. And to cap it all off, at the trailer's conclusion, producer Shigeru Miyamoto came on stage rocking Link's own Master Sword and shield. Miyamoto is one of the precious few games industry personalities who could ever command that rapturous response of a bona fide rock star, which, combined with the jaw-dropping first look at the next Zelda, immediately immortalized this as an all-timer gamer reveal. Number 2. Keanu Reeves is in Cyberpunk 2077, E3 2019. Much as celebrity appearances at gaming conferences are so often ripe for cringe, the reveal that Keanu Reeves will be playing a major role in Cyberpunk 2077 brought the damn house down at Microsoft's E3 2019 presser. An eye-melting cinematic trailer for CD Projekt Red's long-awaited action RPG concluded by revealing that the character Johnny Silverhand will be portrayed by Reeves. And to sweeten the deal, Reeves then came out on stage to give audiences a rousing sales pitch. And moments later, an immortal internet meme was born. After Reeves described the game as breathtaking, an attendee immediately fired back to him, "You're breathtaking," and without missing a step, he retorted that this individual was themselves breathtaking, and that the throngs gathered in the conference hall were all breathtaking. Even though Reeves said nothing about his character at all, his infectiously charming presence while plugging the game proved to be better marketing than any number of glossy trailers. And while it took Cyberpunk a hot minute to win back fans after its infamously rocky launch, hiring Reeves and getting him out front to hype it up was a PR masterstroke.
You're breathtaking!
And number 1, Final Fantasy VII Remake, E3 2015. Sony wrapped up their 2015 Year of Dreams conference with a totally out-of-nowhere trailer for the long-rumored game that nobody actually believed was real, Final Fantasy VII Remake. To watch that gorgeous cinematic trailer play out and then end with the word remake splashed across the screen was a surreal moment of wish fulfillment for many who'd been begging Square Enix to remake the seminal RPG since time immemorial. That such an epic bombshell hadn't been leaked prior to the conference made it all the more unexpected. And though we had to wait the better part of 5 years to actually get our hands on it, that remake, well, 2 parts of it released so far at least, more than lived up to the hype, making it the icing on the cake. Of all the video game announcements that broke the internet, none have matched the sheer jaw-dropping "where the hell did that come from" factor like Final Fantasy VII Remake. And there we go, my friends, those were 10 of the best video game announcements ever. Hope you enjoyed that, and let me know what you thought about it down in the comment section below. And if you want to be part of next week's episode, then put down there as well as what you would put as your best GameCube game ever. As always, I've been Jules, you have been awesome, never forget that, my friends, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.